Hey folks, it's Lindsey Huddleston back in the building again with SPS, another SPS mental health moment. I just love the fact that despite COVID-19 and everything that's going on, technology enables me to connect with people. But what a great person to connect with, my good friend for years and years, and always a great person to be around, Summit Academy's head coach, Mark White. Coach, how you doing today?
Well, how you doing, Lindsey?
Man, you got a lot of bling going on in the back of that showcase, man. What's going on back there?
I've been blessed, Lindsey. I've been blessed.
Hey, the most humble person I know, and I appreciate you providing me an opportunity to be able to talk to you. But just during this COVID-19, I really wanted to reach out to players, coaches, and sports influencers just to get their insight, kind of recap their season, and get an idea of where they're going with things to kind of help their program move along. And more importantly, is to finish up, what are some inspirational things that you can share that can help us? So with that, tell everyone what the Summit Academy season was like. I got a chance to get over there against that game against Mount Clemens. It was a tight game, but you guys were successful. But talk a little bit more about what the season was like, Coach.
Well, Lindsey, this was my second year, my first complete year at Summit Academy. So, our mission was to build a program that would be respectable, that can contend, that could attract positive and quality student athletes. We have a great situation here, as we spoke about before. Great district, great leadership in our district, great academic programs, great social environment. We're trying to build a basketball program that meets those standards. It takes time, as you know, to build programs. It's something that I've done before in other places. I'm very, very proud of how far we've come in such a short time here at Summit Academy. This year, going into my first complete year, meaning we had an off season, a summer, and some returning players. I thought we exceeded expectations. We finished the season 16-4. We won the West Division in a charter school conference for the first time in school history. We went undefeated in the charter conference. We lost in the first round of the playoffs. But we were without a couple players because we had some players suspended for an unfortunate incident at Gibraltar Carlson. But other than that, we had a really, really great season. We end up 16-4. We beat some really good programs who we respect and who we're aspiring to be like. We were able to defeat Romulus, a state championship program at Romulus, who is our city rival. We're in Romulus too, so it was the first time we played, and it was a very exciting game. We won by 1 point there. We got a chance to go back to my alma mater and play at Renaissance, and it was a great evening. We celebrated the 20-year anniversary of the first city championship team there, and we retired Ricky Paulding's number. So I had a lot of my former players there, a lot of the staff that was there. It was a great night. And then we topped off with a last-second three-point shot that won the game for us by Orlando Lovejoy Jr. So
wow,
that was one of the highlights of our season. We went into the state tournament with like 6 wins consecutively, and we end up in this district championship for only the second time in school history. And I thought we had a good chance to really be competitive in that district final. And if we would have won, it would have been our first district championship in school history. So we had a really good season. Unfortunately, it didn't finish like we wanted to finish, but we understand the importance of safety and health. So I think our state leadership, our leadership in MHSAA, and our leadership at our school did the right thing by suspending and eventually canceling the season. So we laid the foundations of something that we want to do here at Summit. We want to again have great kids come to our school. We want to compete with some of those top programs, and we want to contend for district, regionals, and state championships. So I was really, really proud of that. We have a young man that had a great season individually. He has to give credit to himself, his dad, who works really hard with him, Orlando Lovejoy Sr. He's been invested in his son since he was born, probably. And Orlando works really hard on his own. His teammates did a great job, our coaching staff, and he was able to be first team All-League. He was first team All-West. He was one of the state's best, BCAM on the state's best. He was named the second team All-State for Division II. So he had an outstanding year being recognized individually along with our team accomplishments. And again, that's part of the mission to build Summit Academy basketball program, to have teams that can compete and have quality young men who earn recognition for their talents and help attract other players to our school. So I'm very, very happy with where we are. But there's a lot more work to do. I'm not going to be satisfied until we're mentioned amongst the the top programs like Romulus, Renaissance, University of Detroit, Jesuit, Orchard Lake, River Rouge. So we're going to be continuing to work when we can. Right now, I'm trying to stay engaged with the boys weekly, just to give them encouragement, keep them positive through this crisis that we're experiencing, this unprecedented crisis, and make sure they're healthy and have the needs that the needs met that they have with their families. We've been meeting via group chats, video chats weekly. We've had meetings. I've had meetings with each one of them individually regarding their assessment of their season 1920 and their goals for their season 2021. So we started with our goals meetings. Right now we're meeting every week with our assignment to watch the documentary, The Last Dance.
That's the assignment?
Yep. Well, so I assign all of them to watch each episode. And, I meet with them individually, with questions and things about what they got from it, lessons they learned, things that can motivate them, and how it helps our team moving forward. If you want to be a champion, you want to do some great things, it's very important to study great people and great organizations. Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan, we're very, very, we're big fans of theirs, and what they accomplished is the ultimate. So it's a great opportunity for us to keep our minds sharp, stay engaged personally, and to prepare ourselves mentally right now where we can't do anything physically together as a team. We also send pictures and videos of our individual workouts through our group chat. So we're trying to take control of the things we can control right now, trying to stay healthy and safe and support our families and each other, which is the priority. But while we're still focusing on our future and what we're going to do as a team. Did I lose you, Lindsay?
Oh, you're super fine. You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
What we're going to do as individuals and the team, when they open up and it's safe for us to go out and develop.
Wow. Coach, you shared so many great things, and I appreciate you giving an excellent recap. Shout out to the Summit Academy leadership, your superintendent, your principal, and specifically athletic director William McCoy, who's a great presence in the sporting community. It's always great seeing him posting the young people's success and always connecting with him. I can't help but just kind of hone in on that assignment you gave your players. What an assignment. And I know you're so humble, but you're one of the few coaches coaching high school basketball who've had experience on every level, from high school standout, collegiate, and the professional experience that is. So when you watch The Last Dance and you have that dissect moment with your players, what is it like? And also, you have a very young team too. Let people know that. You have an extremely young team. So what is it like, one, getting their feedback of an era that they weren't even alive to experience, most of them, and two, how do you kind of help them understand what's going on when you have the heartbreak of the season open? So talk about what their feedback is from The Last Dance and helping them understand how to, deal with a season that ended so abruptly.
Well, first thing, Lindsay, I think we have to address the mental and emotional impacts of, something that's been unprecedented. So I think we went through we all went through some of those psychologically stages that been documented, like just shock from, our season being canceled. Like we were preparing, we were so emotionally charged. We're so driven to win that district championship and try to make a run in the state tournament. Again, like you said, we have a very young team, mostly freshmen and sophomores. So we were really motivated and excited. And, the next day we're supposed to play in the district championship, and, we're told we're not going to be able to play with our fans. Our friends and family can't come. So that was something that was emotional in itself. But then, maybe an hour later, they tell us, we can't play at all. And that's very, very, very difficult emotionally, as you know, something that you work for and plan for and dream about for months in advance, years in advance, and you have opportunity, you're right there on the doorstep to be able to do that. That's very shocking for me as an adult. I mean, I could imagine how it played on their hearts and minds as young people. So the first thing I tried to do was, just try to stay engaged with them, every day, tell them to do the things that we can prepare, try to hold each other up, make sure everybody had their needs met. Some people without school, that they don't have the food and support that they have with the school system. So we wanted to make sure everybody had what they needed to survive. Emotionally, we try to help them talk through it, how they're feeling, and support them, and always give them encouragement, and provide the information, accurate information. I think that was the first thing we did. But those first few weeks, we were always thinking and feeling that they would allow us to play. That we didn't know how severe the COVID-19 crisis would be. So we were hopeful and optimistic that maybe in a couple of weeks or a week we'll be able to play. But once that reality was gone, there's another phase of grief that we all experienced, and that is over. So it was tough for me as an adult, and I realized I had to go from being the leader that was optimistic and keeping everybody motivated to a different role in their lives and in my family's lives, to just make sure we're secure and safe and supported and take care of each other. So we went to that, and that's really tough for young people to know that something's over, that they didn't get a chance to complete what they started. We always push them to make a commitment and stay dedicated to achieve goals that they set, and they did everything that they could, everything that we asked them to do, and then it was over. So that's the next phase of that grief for us. And then when we got through that, now it's optimism and positivity towards the future. And we support each other through that, and that's where the goals meetings came in, and I came up with that to let's just talk about what a great season we had. Let's essentially celebrate what we did. Let's look back on it and take some lessons from it, and reward each other, and then talk about what we can build on it from there. So I think that helps the transition for them. I know it helped for me.
It helped you actually, huh?
Yeah, it helped me too, because this is something that's unprecedented for me as well. I've been a basketball coach most of my adult life, and
talk about gym rat, somebody who's living in the gym.
I've never had this much time off from working and being in the gym. So I know it's tough for me. I don't.
It's tough for your wife too. Bless her heart. I know she's going through a lot.
Yeah. But you have to make the best out of the situation, and being able to spend time with family and rest your minds and body and get in physical condition and health. That's something you're able to do now. I spend a lot more time with my family, where I was spending that time at work, and supporting my family. And I ask, I try to be an example for them as well. Spend more time with your family, help your parents out, get to know your brothers and sisters as much as possible. do some individual stuff, outside in the driveway if you have a court, on your own. And we've been very innovative in that. So, we're like most people in the world today, because this has affected people all over the world. That, it's something that we feel that we're going to have to live with. We're getting through. We can get through. We have faith and trust in God, and we're going to live with it. We're going to get there. So we're looking forward to, when we can get together, however that looks like. We're educating ourselves on how to do it safely. And we're preparing ourselves, so we're looking forward to that. But
the last assignment, everything you said. This is not to take light of everything you said. You're absolutely right, and getting back in touch with yourself, reconnecting with family. But I just find that the last dance has been so interesting because it relates in so many ways. So I'm sorry, please do.
Yeah. Well, Lindsay, last dance is one of the benefits of where we are too. You got to look at the positive. Them releasing this early at this time where we're most of the world is on lockdown. It's beautiful to look forward to. Again, I'm a Michael Jordan fan. I'm a fan of excellence, and a lot of stories that we're seeing. I'm from that time. You're from that time, so we grew up watching it. But there's a lot of things that I'm learning. So to take the things that I knew about it and share with my team. We're always talking to them. Like you said, they're so young. They didn't live through that time, so they see a different game now. They see different athletes, different organizations. It's different. So for them to get a chance to see what I learned and what we grew up on, I thought that would be a great educational experience for them, not just basketball, but for life. And Michael Jordan is the ultimate. Like, he's the ultimate in excellence in every regard. Like, not just as an athlete, but as a businessman, as a family man, as a model. He's excellent. So, and he's still doing excellent things. So they could relate to who he is. They all wear the shoes. They all see the highlights. But being able to see how he approached practice, how dedicated he was to the game, his leadership qualities and leadership styles, his commitment to meet his obligation as a teammate, as an employer, as a public figure. All of those things are lessons that, and values that we try to instill in our young people daily. I mean, daily. And they're part of a generation where they only see highlights. They see mixtapes. But to watch this documentary, I thought would be a great opportunity for them to go behind the scenes of something that established itself to the highest level and how it got there. And so, the first thing, every week after we watch episodes, I have, 5 to 6 questions or comments or observations.
You mind sharing some of what the questions would be like in general?
I got a notebook right here. You mind if I just?
Yeah, you good. I would love to hear some of that.
All right, give me 1 second. 1 second.
Okay, all right, cool. Look at all that hardware back there, man. He stepped away. You see all the trophies, and I know that's only just a portion of it right there. Sitting here with Coach Mark White of Summit Academy, a great friend, sharing some good information. He's going to go and grab his notes of what he was asking his players about with the Last Dance documentary. So I think it's a great thing with Coach White. He'll be back in a second. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Yeah, man. Hey, when you stepped away, man, we saw some more hardware. We saw some more trophies and everything, too. That was sweet.
That's all the past, Lindsay. We're still working on the future right now.
I know.
Again, I've been very, very blessed. So, I've been working with had an opportunity to work with some of the best athletes in Detroit history and some of the best coaching. So I've been very, very blessed.
What we'll do, Coach, we'll talk about a few of the questions. And the last thing I want to get from you for the interest of time is just some inspirational words you can give to the Summit Academy community, to the sporting community, and everyone as it relates to dealing with COVID and going forward. You touched on that before, but just to give you an idea of what we can do.
Okay. All right, I just each week I have different assignments. I mean, it's different questions. So one of the things you want to tell me, things you learned about Michael Jordan that you didn't know. That's some of the things that we talked about. Um, Describe his high school and college experience. A lot of our young people want to go to college. A lot of them see the 5 stars all over the internet and everything like that. And I think looking at the Last Dance, many of them pointed out that Michael Jordan wasn't a 5 star as an 8th grader, as a freshman.
They noticed that. They
Yeah,
noticed that.
they noticed that right away. Like, I thought he was one and done, coach. Nah, he went to college.
What? Oh, this is so good. Okay, okay.
So many of them didn't know that he played JV. That's almost an insult nowadays to try to get a kid to play JV.
You're right. They had no idea, huh?
Right. And also, watching Dennis Rodman and Scottie Pippen. They went to NAIA schools. They weren't highly recruited, and those some 2 of the best players that ever played as well. So they
Those
noticed
were role
right
players
away.
to a degree at one point in their career.
Yeah, they noticed that right away. And it kind of gives some of those guys hope and motivated them that okay, right now I'm not considered one of the best, but I have time. I can dedicate myself, keep getting better, keep growing. And I still can accomplish some of those goals that I have in the future just
They
because.
assumed MJ was one and done. And we all know that wasn't the case. We knew that his story was different. But they made the assumption he was one and done.
Yeah. That they're young. They don't really understand. Also talk to them about I asked them what differentiates him from athletes that they've seen today. Like, they watch James Harden's and all the LeBron James and each one of them to the person, Lindsay, they talked about how hard he worked, how driven he was, how competitive he was.
They noticed a difference in that hard work, and it stood out to them.
They could see it, and just watching full clips of a game, so how hard he played, his motor, his stamina, his determination. All of them mentioned that he was just different. Most of them just say, I can't describe it, coach. He's just different. You know how kids talk. So
yeah.
It's really exciting for me because they always throw me into the conversations. Who's the best, coach? Michael Jordan or LeBron? What about James Harden? LeBron, he can't. He's way better than Mike, coach. So
they have no context. They don't have no context of what they're saying.
Right. I mean, I never get into an argument with them, but I always say that Michael Jordan. Ask them. My comment is I always ask them how Michael Jordan influenced them.
Right.
None of them would be as good as they are, or where they are, if it wasn't for Michael Jordan. But
and I guess they are.
In my opinion, I watched for years.
Yeah.
I never seen anybody like Michael Jordan. So
they're seeing that now. I want to point out too. They also must recognize that they don't work. They recognize that they don't work as hard as they could be working too.
That's each week. That's one of the final questions is like, tell me the lessons you got that you're going to use for yourself from this episode, from Michael Jordan, from Dennis Rodman, from Coach Jackson. Tell me some of the lessons that you plan to use, and they all talk about how much harder they need to work. And work ethic, as you know, Lindsay, is something that we have to teach. Practicing is something we have to teach. Those values, kids will think they're working hard until they get evaluated. You can work harder. And sometimes it's hard for them to accept and understand. So The Last Dance is helping me with that. It's helping me with that as far as that. Also, we talk about, I asked them, Michael Jordan, one of the best players ever. He's had a lot of individual success. He achieved a lot of individual accomplishment. How did Phil Jackson and why did Michael Jordan accept a lesser role, accept the triangle offense, start trusting his teammates and sharing more? And they all answered right away because he wanted to win the championship. And that's something that we struggle as a society now because of the individualized. Everything's been individualized in sport. With Twitter, social network,
Yep.
people vying for scholarship, all the individual accolades. You know, you can self-promote on Instagram, and you know, you talk about statistics and stuff like that all the time. So sport has been individualized. I think it was important for me to get over to them through The Last Dance the importance of team play, team commitment, sacrifice, trusting, everyone developing, every role being value important to what we're trying to do, and everyone fighting that battle together. So, you know, they saw that immediately with Mike. You know, he was MVP, he was all world, but Mike accepted, you know, what Phil Jackson offered him, you know, a new system, to trust his teammates, to help motivate them to develop, to get better, um, so he could win the championship. And if Michael could do it, you know, why couldn't I do it? You know, so that's one of the things we ask them on a weekly basis too. So it's been great, man. And then, you know, we talk about image. You know, one of the after episodes 5 and 6, I think it was important for them to realize how important image was to Michael and for them. You know, how you carry yourself, how he dressed. They noticed how he dressed every time.
He's impeccably aggressive.
How he spoke to his friends and his teammates off camera, and how he spoke publicly to the media. They noticed all of that, and we talked to them about, you know, the values of dress. You know, we wear blazers, shirts, and ties to games. I mean, you've seen how important that. You know, we try to make sure we're groomed nice and neatly with our hairstyles. You know, and things have changed, but you know, I tried to impress upon them the importance of that in creating opportunities for yourselves or closing doors for yourselves by your image. And Michael was, you know, he's the epitome of image. You know, it's something that, you know, he's consciously pays attention to daily in every action, everything that he does. We talked about, you know, decisions that he made in his personal life that affected his image, like gambling. You know, they noticed that right away, like, wow, you know, he likes to gamble. There's nothing wrong with it. He's got a lot of money, but, you know, it impacted what people thought of him and the questions he had to answer, and you know, how he had to address it. And that reinforced to them, you know, decisions that we make personally can carry over into what we're trying to do professionally. You know, so those are some of the lessons we try to give them. And Last Dance is helping us to raise our young men, to raise them as young men, as students, as athletes. So, you know, I feel very blessed that, you know, we have The Last Dance, and we have an opportunity to watch it together, to fellowship with it, and grow from it.
That's amazing. It's a teaching too. Coach, in the interest of time, and I appreciate everything you shared. It's been so fulfilling. I'm sure many people are going to benefit from this. I think everybody going to be making The Last Dance on their assignments too. But just with the final few moments we have, just, you know, what comments can you make to your Summit Academy family, to the sporting community, or just anyone who's listening, that can just be a nice word of inspiration as we deal with the COVID-19 and look to get back to some form of normalcy in our lives?
Well, you know, I think it's very, very, very important for us to, you know, to listen to science, to trust our leadership who has given us, you know, accurate information. I think it's very, very important for us to practice the health measures and the measures that they're asking us to do that'll help save lives, not only ours, but, you know, people we care about and people around us. I think that's very, very important to continue to do that. I think it's important for us to support one another. Support one another. It's very, very important to understand that this crisis may not be affecting us or as much as it may be affecting someone else, or it's going to affect us unevenly. So it's important for us to have compassion. It's important for us to have empathy and be kind and caring. I think this crisis is not something that, you know, discriminates, or it doesn't affect you. It's not Democratic or Republican. It's not rich or poor. It's not black or white. Although some of some of our minorities are being affected or impacted more so than others, is a very important time for us to be together in our care and our kindness and our support for humanity, for humanity. I hate that some of our leadership has politicized this crisis. I think our leadership at Summit Academy has been tremendous in their efforts to support our families and our staff. They've been tremendous in their efforts to continue educating our students with our distance learning program, our program where we give out thousands of meals every week, where we've given out computers and laptops and iPads to all of our students, where we're engaged with our students daily in a variety of ways support. I think that's what our government, our state government, our national government, I think that approach is better for all of us, because this is something that, like we mentioned, is unprecedented. And we're going to get through it, but the best way to get through it is together, with that compassion for humanity, that support, and embracing the challenges for all of us to do things that we've never done before. So we have to embrace the challenge, because we're obliged to each other, we're obliged to humanity to overcome. And I have 100% faith that we will overcome. I have faith in God, who can do all things, and we can do all things through Christ. I know that. I have faith in humanity because we've seen crisis before, unlike this one, but we've all gotten through it together. We've all got through it with all the resources, all the talents, all the intelligence, all the sciences, everything that we have, we've been blessed with. If we come together, we're going to continue to do that. And right. And I'm very proud of the efforts that I've seen in our communities. I'm so proud of all of our first responders, our health workers, who has helped curve this crisis. And we got a lot of people recovering, and we're building everything that we need to continue to grow through this. So I'm very, very proud of that. And I think we'll continue to learn and get better and better, and we'll be better for this.
Right. Well, Coach Mark White, I appreciate you being an inspiration. You're absolutely right. We're going to embrace the challenge, continue to do the great things you're doing at Summit, continue to be a blessing to others. And I appreciate our friendship and look forward to seeing you on the other side of this.
All right, Lindsay, it's great seeing you always, brother. And keep doing what you're doing, man. You're doing some great things. And, you're a valuable resource to me, the Summit Academy District, and our community. So keep doing what you're doing, brother. And I'm very, very proud of you, too.
Okay. I won't stop, man. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you.
All right.